How's everybody doing? Welcome to an episode of Madden Daily Drops. Today, we're talking about part two when it comes down to gameplay. I got Clint Oldenburg, one of our game designers here in the studio. And you know what? We decided we're not even bringing out Man of the People to start this out because we have so much to cover that we're just going to jump right into it. Not just that, but, I think there was some feedback that, you guys wanted to hear more information from that deep dive blog that we did 2 weeks ago. And Clint's going to go ahead and walk through some of that here shortly. So again, one of the things that when I was reading that blog, I noticed that there are three kind of creative pillars that the team has had when it really focuses based on the player feedback, and that is to make NFL stars feel like stars. Not only that, but the other thing was kind of build unique playbooks and a new NFL strategy, which we'll talk a little bit about that here on stream. And last but not least, also kind of create more immersive moments in the game and a more polished experience. So you guys have really been working on that. We'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the stream. So, in the blog, there was a lot that was there that we could not cover. So I would love for you to kind of walk through like maybe 5 to 7 things that we didn't cover in our stream, but was covered in the deep dive blog. But I want you to speak a little more to it if you don't mind.
Sure. So the first place we're going to start, we're going to recap the Superstar X Factors. We want to go there because we covered that a lot last time. We just want to do a quick recap. You can read all about that on the website, on the previous blog. But Superstar X Factors, these guys are an elite group of players. They have superstar abilities. Those are going to be available to make these players feel unique and powerful. They have X Factor abilities you can get when you're in the zone. Those are through in-game objectives. What's the most important thing that I want to pass along here are these things are built through authenticity. And there's been a lot of time and care put into making sure that they are balanced. And they're there to balance gameplay out more by making the star players stand out from everybody else. So that's the main thing I want to review
for sure
on that point. And now we can move into the other stuff. So let's get into some of the gameplay improvements that we did not get a chance to talk about last time. We want to start with pass trajectories. So we did a lot of work at tuning pass trajectories. What we really wanted to try to do was get a little bit more lift on the ball. Because our ball has ball physics, that means the ball is going to be a little bit slower. Now, that means the ball is going to be higher, but take a little longer to get there in general. However, what's very important to note from that blog is we want to hear your feedback. Once you get your hands on it, we want to continue to fine-tune that to what you guys are seeing out there. So make sure you're giving us your feedback. We can continue to perfect that thing after you guys play it. So pass trajectory is really important. We want to stay in the passing realm. We want to talk about the new pump fake mechanic. This is something that's going to be really important for you guys to note out there for a couple of reasons. Number one, the medium pass or touch pass mechanic that you're used to the last couple of years being on double tap is now going to be moved back to press and release where it was prior to, I want to say, Madden 15, roughly. Double tap is now the pump fake mechanic by default in game, so you can double tap a specific receiver to pump fake to that receiver, or even use it as a throw canceling mechanic. If you want to change your mind mid-throw, you can pull that ball down. What this is going to do is allow you to occasionally get a defender either on the defensive line who's rushing to jump up in the air and try to bat a pass down on a pump fake, or during a double move route, there will be a very tight and small timing window where you can get that defensive back to bite on the double move and gain a little separation with the pump fake. What's even cooler is a player like Big Ben Roethlisberger has a superstar ability around the pump fake, and his pump fake is going to be a little bit more lethal than everybody else's. So be aware of that. A nice new gameplay mechanic there. Next, passing game again, limits on lurking linebackers. We spent a lot of time looking at this area of the game, and what was important feedback that we got from a lot of our community was it was really tough to trust your eyes when you're making reads in the passing game. It was hard to see an open receiver and then get intercepted by a player much shallower than that player on the field, than the intended receiver. So the way that we're going to start the year in Madden 20 is linebackers and defensive linemen, when they're dropping into coverage, they're not going to be able to play jumping catches or spectacular catches in the air when they're nowhere near the landing spot. So think of, 10 yards, 8 yards, 12 yards in front of the intended receiver. You're going to see those players reach up in the air and try to get the catch, but they're going to fail at catching the ball, and it's going to go over their head, and you will get some in-game feedback via our new on-field trainer system. You will get some in-game feedback that says out of reach to let you know that you had a player that was unable to jump for that pass. So that's one of those examples of making the game more balanced. We want to open up the passing game a little more and give a little bit more realistic defense towards the passing game. Next on the list, we refactored QB pressure penalties. We again, we're looking at the balance of the game, and when looking at the NFL and watching football, you notice that the impact that pressure has on quarterbacks has a very big impact on the outcome of football games and the outcome of each play. And that was something that we felt like we were missing, especially in terms of getting pass rushers up the field towards the quarterback. So now you're going to see a lot of superstar abilities focused on putting more pressure on the quarterbacks, both from an engaged state and a non-engaged state. And you're also going to see quarterbacks who have a really high throw under pressure rating be a lot more valuable because they're going to be able to resist that pressure a lot more frequently than a lower rated player. So pressure is going to have an impact on throwing power and throwing accuracy. And the really nice thing about this system is you're going to be told what's going on the field with our new in-game feedback. The passing feedback has been added to a lot more polish. In terms of detail, you're going to see a lot more detail about what's going on the field. You're going to see exactly what happened in that situation when you had pressure, heavy pressure, when you resisted pressure. You're going to know why the pass went where it went relative to the defensive lineman. And then lastly, I want to cover rushed get-ups. Now, that term sounds a little odd, so I want to explain that a little bit. It's animation technology that we were able to work on this year. When a player gets a ball and he's on the ground, oftentimes in the past he would get up slowly like the play was over. We did a lot of work to make sure players are aware that the play is still live, they haven't been touched down. They're going to hurry up and get off the field. Important note here is offensive linemen, when they pick up a fumble, they are not going to use rush get ups, so they're still going to get up slower off the ground. But everybody else on the field will be able to use those get ups and be more aware of the situation in the game. I think that those are the big beats. There's plenty more in that blog, so make sure you go check that out. But those are the ones that we really wanted to call out today.
Awesome. Well, I know in that spirit, talking about fast to fun, and kind of getting players to kind of get more involved in the game. Can you talk a little bit about that, like that immersive experience in game, those immersive moments that they'll see in Madden 20?
Sure. So fast to fun quite simply means we want more fun per minute. We want our players playing the game more and watching the game less. With this came a few changes in terms of our presentation. Presentation in post-play and pre-play is going to be a little bit shorter. You're going to notice after the play is going to be cut a little bit shorter unless there's something really cool to show, like a celebration. During the play, you are going to notice a streamlined experience from play call to line of scrimmage. This applies to no huddle as well. What you're going to see is how do I want to word this? You're going to see a shortened presentation experience, so you're no longer going to see players getting aligned out of the huddle, breaking the huddle and going to the line of scrimmage. You're going to see them immediately at the line of scrimmage. We've standardized all of the time so that both the offense and defense is going to have the exact same amount of time to make adjustments before the play. And then the accelerated clock is always going to take off the amount of time it would have taken the player furthest away from his formation position to get aligned. So you're going to see the clock accelerate, whether you have the setting on or off, no matter what, to make up for those times that you otherwise would have been watching them get set at the line. I know that sounds really dense, but hopefully that makes sense to all you guys out there.
It's great. I think a lot of people that come out to EA Play will kind of get to see that experience. What's great about it, I think at the end of the day, at first when I started playing, it was a little jarring at first, but the more I played it, I started to realize, like, this is great. I'm actually, I call my play, I'm good to go. It kept the game moving, which was a great experience for me overall. You talked a little bit about the new on-field trainer. Can you elaborate a little bit about that? I mean, I know it's a feedback system, but can you give some more information? Yeah,
there's two parts of on-field trainer. So the first part is really how we want to onboard, ramp, and teach our players how to play Madden. That's the true iteration of on-field trainer, and that's going to give players dynamic tips on in-game mechanics and how to do certain things in the game. What's really cool about the on-field trainer portion of this is it's dynamic to your habits. So once you've shown mastery in certain skills, it's going to stop showing you those things, and then it's going to show you other more advanced things to learn. And then the second part of that is in-game feedback. It's going to look the same. You're going to see the same iconography in the game and the same type of visuals, but it's giving you feedback about what's happening in the game. So you're going to get your catching feedback, your pass rush feedback via that system rather than different buttons and different kinds of text showing up over the screen like we had in Madden 19.
Got it.
It's more cohesive and it's easier to understand. So that's a pretty nice improvement for us in terms of getting more information to our players about what's happening on the field.
Cool. Yeah, so are there going to be any updates to the play call screen this year?
Yeah, there is going to be a few updates to the play call screen. Great question. This guy's been playing the game. So we were looking at making a more cohesive experience with play call and our X Factor Superstar players. So you're going to see some iconography in the play books telling you which superstar players are the featured player on that play. Let's say a primary receiver. Antonio Brown's your primary receiver. You're going to be told that. You're going to see what his X factor ability is. And that should help steer you towards using the plays if you want to get those players involved and get them the ball.
That's great stuff. Now, Clint, we're going to go ahead and jump over to the segment with Anthony White. But before we go, is there anything else you want to share? Anything that we missed regarding, superstar X factor abilities, zone abilities? Anything that's pressing on your mind that you really want to emphasize to the community out there?
No, I think we covered everything today. We tried to get it out quickly. I don't want to take too much time away from Anthony. This guy's a really great gameplay designer, and he's got news about RPOs to share, which I know that our players are really excited about, so let's get him to that.
No, that's great. Awesome. Well, again, Clint, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to go ahead and get Anthony White on stream. EA Play. But again, thank you guys for all that feedback in the chat. Oh, trick play, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about trick plays. They pulled the trick play on me. They had me muted. Thank you so much. Gibbs had one job to do, but it's all good. So one thing that we wanted to highlight, we're seeing a ton of chatter in the chat that you guys are like, well, can we see some stuff? You guys are going to see more stuff at EA Play. We're going to show some things on stream, so there was a lot of conversation when we were talking with Clint. We wanted to give you guys some context. We're still going to go ahead and give you some context with Anthony and I here, but keep in mind at EA Play, we're going to show you some more stuff. There's going to be a survey that's going to give you some information right there of what you may want to see. Stay tuned for that. Man of the People Z Farles will come on at the very tail end of the stream when he's talking with RG, and they'll go ahead and talk about that survey. So without further ado, I got Anthony White here. Anthony, it's great to have you on stream. I'm glad we got to pull you away from all the film. This guy is constant. Him and Swami both, for those people that don't know in the community, are constantly watching film together. It's crazy. It's great to have you here.
Hey,
introduce yourself, man.
Hey, man, it's great to be here. First off, I've watched these streams quite a bit in the past, and, it look like you guys have a blast, and, just watching, the behind the scenes stuff, I'm not disappointed. But for those who don't know, my name is Anthony White. I'm a gameplay designer here at EA, and I've been here since 2005, and, in various roles. But I think most people know me primarily as the guy that works on the playbooks and things of that nature. So now we're here today to share a little bit of information about what we're doing for Madden 20 in regards to the RPOs and the playbooks.
Good stuff, man. I mean, I'm excited because, A-Dub, I'm going to call you A-Dub. A-Dub is extremely passionate when it comes down to playbooks. He's been very passionate about RPOs. For those people that are new to stream, can you elaborate a little bit, like what is an RPO?
Yeah, RPO is basically, it stands for run pass option. And when you think of RPO, you think of, the running game, and, basically this is the type of play that gives an offense multiple ways to attack a defense within a singular play. And it's a lot of times, it's based on a couple of elements. Pre-snap, what you see with the defense, with their alignment, you have leverage, you got the box count. But then also, too, in some of the types of RPOs, which we'll touch on later, the different types that we have in the game, you have a post-snap element where you're reading a particular defender that in the football world, we call them the conflict defender, we're basing a read on that guy, and he tells us whether or not we're going to pass the ball or throw the ball or run the ball.
That's great. You know, you mentioned that we're going to talk about, you know, the 3 types of RPOs that we have. I think we have a graphic right here of in-game that we'll take a look at. We have 3 types of RPOs. Can you actually talk to these and tell me how they work in game?
Yeah, you know, the first one, you know, what we term is called peak. And, you know, a peak RPO for us is basically, think of second level. Not to get too technical here, but we're reading a backside linebacker. And based on the reaction of that backside linebacker, if he were to sit and hold his position, you know, we're looking to hand the ball off and run the ball because essentially we have numbers in the running game. If that player were to come up and play his run fit or any movement towards the line of scrimmage, well, we're taking a peek at that linebacker and we're going to try to hit a route behind in that particular area. What we do with the blocking scheme to make sure that we're sound there, we try to keep the backside tackle on our play locked on the backside DN so that we can sort of isolate that particular player on the play. So that's the one that we really like to think about in terms of the NFL. That's what most teams tend to run.
Got it. Okay. And I know we have a couple of others here as well. We have the read and alert. Can we walk through those?
Yeah, the read RPO. Think old school triple option. That's essentially what it is. You know, for a lot of you out there that are watching this stream, you've probably played our NCAA football game back in the day, and even in Madden now, we have read and triple option plays in the game. Well, what the read RPO is, it's all those same elements, except essentially we're replacing the pitch element with a pass. So we have the read where we're reading a first level defensive end, where we can give it to the back or we can keep it with the quarterback. But then we have the pitch element where we're reading a pitch defender, what we call a pass key guy, where we can either throw the bubble screen, and in some of these plays we have in the game, we throw a flanker screen outside. So that's a version of the RPO that I actually really enjoy that one a lot because, you know, you have all kinds of different ways that you can attack a defense. And the other thing I need to point out about the read RPO, you can probably notice on some of the diagrams that we have an alert away from where the triple option is going. So at any point, pre-snap leverage, you can throw that route right now. So if the defense is giving you something right now and, okay, you don't have to go through the read. I'm just going to go, bam, get the ball out.
Okay.
And the offensive line in the back, they will still carry out their assignments as if they're going through the run play.
Okay. Well, talking about RPOs, how many RPOs are we going to have in game this year, and where can you find these actually in Madden 20?
Yeah, at the moment right now, we have well over 200 different types of RPO plays in the game. And, you know, and we'll talk about a little later what we plan on doing post-launch, but we're going to obviously grow that number. The easiest way to find these is when you're at the play call, you go play call by concept, and you'll go to option, and then under play call by concept option, you'll see RPO peak, RPO alert, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then RPO read. So, and then of course, it's dependent on the playbook that you use. So if you're playing with a team like, let's say, the Eagles, Colts, the Chiefs, teams like that are heavy RPO teams, they major in that type of stuff. Watched a lot of films on those teams. They have a lot of RPOs in their playbooks. But if you're looking at a team like the Rams or the Patriots, those teams were based on the stats that we have. They really didn't do a lot of that, but they do have a few in their playbooks. So it's dependent on the playbook that you have and, of course, the style of play that you incorporate.
Great. Now, so regarding RPOs, like we talked a little bit about how to do them. Can you elaborate a little bit more on how they are done kind of in game?
Yeah. So the different types of RPOs that we have in game. You know, we talked about the peaks and the reads. Well, those, for most of you, will work similar to the current options that we have in the game in terms of the triple options, read options. So the peak RPO, that's basically, you know, think the read option that we have in the game right now where you're reading that backside in and you have to hold A if you want to give the ball to the back. Well, same thing here. You know, you're reading that backside linebacker and based off his reaction, hold A to give it to the back. Or, you know, if you don't want to give it to the back, press the icon of the receiver who's running that peak route. So it's sort of like a new school take on the traditional read option, except now a lot less riskier for the quarterback. That's why this is the most popular one in the NFL, because the quarterback is not a runner here. So it's basically either throw or give. The read RPO is just like the current triple option RPO, except you can read, you can run with the quarterback, but also you can press the icon of the receiver that's going to pass. Now the alerts. These are run plays. Think of these as run plays with route alerts. Matter of fact, we go talk to NFL coaches, and we got NFL playbooks. Routes on route alerts on run plays. What that essentially does, it gives the offense the ability to attack a defense in multiple ways based on pre-snap leverage and based on the box count. This is a run play. There's no post-snap read here. This is all pre-snap. If you were to look out there and you were to see, based on the hat count, based on the numbers in the box, you have the advantage to run the ball. But if for whatever reason you detect that you have an unblockable defender at the point of the attack where the run is going to, now you want to really start looking at that backside alert route, which for us, we have a couple types. When we have a single receiver backside from the run, you'll get a smoke screen, or you'll get what we call a lookie, which is basically a quick slant. If you got a slot receiver on the backside, you get a bubble screen. So those are the things that you have to be cognizant of when you run the alerts. Also with the alerts, just like a run play, if you don't do anything, the handoff will automatically happen for you. So it's just like a run play, that essentially the pass option is your get out of jail card.
Yeah. No, and I think one thing that we can talk about, and we can actually put this in the gridiron notes, is talking about some of the downsides of RPOs. But you touched on something about handoffs. So, I want to talk a little bit about that, and that is about the new handoff technology. Can you walk us through that new handoff technology?
Well, yeah, the thing about the new handoff technology, in the old days, to kind of give people an idea how we used to do handoffs, we would give the quarterback and the primary ball carrier a series of assignments to get them to a singular point, and they intersect, and then a handoff animation would trigger.
Okay.
That system, it kind of puts some limitations on us in the types of things that we can do. Now with the new system, we basically put multiple characters into the handoff, and we assign their roles.
Got it.
So what that has enabled us to do is obviously create new, interesting, and unique types of handoffs and plays, because we get a lot of social media requests and feedback on, hey, well, I would love to see this play and that play. Well, now this new system opens that door, that gateway, if you will, for us to do those types of things. And we're going to get into a few of those here.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like we have some new handoff animations right here. If you want to walk through these, I also want to, we'll check and see if we have some ant footage when it comes down to the new handoff tech.
Yeah. And these are some of the plays that basically, a lot of our fans have been talking about, especially over the last couple of years. Anybody who's watched teams like the Los Angeles Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs, you see a lot of what we call jet sweep. And what that is take a wide receiver who's out wide, he's going in super fast motion. And what you see a lot of times the teams will do, they can either give it to that guy and then fake it to the running back. They fake it to the jet sweep and give it to the back, or give it to the jet sweep, fake the back, fake the jet sweep, and play action. And then, they also have other complement plays off that, which we have a few in the playbooks that we'll show you guys. Yeah. But this technology has actually opened up that door for us to do these type of things. When you look at a team like the LA Rams playbook, for example, right now, their playbook, all single back, lots of bunch, tight type formations. The first page of their playbook, you're going to see some type of fly sweep, some type of fake jet sweep, fly sweep, PA. So those are the types of things that we're really trying to encapsulate with those teams' playbooks. The same thing with the Chiefs. Like, here's a couple examples. This is one here with the Chiefs are made popular in the first week of the NFL season against the Los Angeles Chargers. But you see here, this is a shotgun formation. You see the fast motion coming across, and then we can fake it to the back. We got a version here where fast motion comes across and we give it to the back. We got a version of this, fast motion comes across and we can do play action. So you get a nice little series of plays, or mini scheme as the young ones call it, that you can build off there. This one here, this is the jet sweep, Los Angeles Rams. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the Rams and Sean McVay's offense. It's a very unique offensive system. This is what I'm talking about. You're under center, same thing. You got the fast motion by the outside receiver. You can fake it to the back, and then You got all kinds of different elements here. Now, actually, I think this is the reverse out of the bunch here. So what this is, out of single back bunch, you got the quick pitch play that everybody's seen in the playbook. Well, now you're faking the pitch, but you're pitching the ball to a receiver going the other way. So a reverse there. So that's a cool, one of the new plays that we got in the game. Now here's the Sean McVay. Oh, now this is the Philly special. Yeah, they pulled a trick on me. This is the Philly special here. So the funny thing about this play, there's so many unique elements to this particular play, where in terms of you got the quarterback going to the line of scrimmage, tapping the backside of the offensive tackle, then the snap happens. So we didn't want to just put one singular play there. We actually had to think of some special fake plays, if you will, complement plays that go along with this. So this particular play is something that, we started immediately after the Super Bowl when they ran this against the Patriots, trying to figure out, okay, well, we got to come up with a way to get this in the game. And that's actually led us to the road to experimenting with and prototyping the new animation technology that we talked about. And, you can see the results there. Lots of cool, new, interesting content that I think fans of the Madden series will really be happy with.
Yeah, and I know at the end of the day, you'll see just a couple. We're showing you guys just a few of those plays. Mind you, there's over 200 RPOs, right? It's pretty extensive.
Yeah, we have a pretty extensive list.
Crazy. So let's talk about playbooks, because you are the playbook king here in the studio.
Yeah.
I see you constantly talking with Swami and other people in the studio. I know when we have people come down into the studio, they just want to pick your brain on how playbooks are created and the whole science behind it. I know we have some unique passing plays, in these playbooks for Madden 20. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we definitely try to make a concerted effort, if you will, to sort of update and modernize the passing game in terms of what we're doing with our playbooks. A lot of that revolves around some more additional option routes, obviously some team-specific concepts, things that we try to get to. Like, for example, everybody, a lot of people have been asking me about the Arizona Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury coming in from Texas Tech. Well, people want to know, will we see air raid type of offense? So yes, you will see an air raid offense with a lot of those staple plays in there in the Arizona playbook, and that's unique to them. No other team will have that. Then when you look at the Baltimore Ravens playbook, that's another one that I get a lot of questions about on social media.
Yeah.
You pick up the Baltimore Ravens playbook, you'll have like 12 pistol formations loaded with option plays, read options, feed options, different types of passing concepts that they use. Shotgun heavy, if you will, lots of stuff that are very unique to the Baltimore Ravens and take advantage of Lamar Jackson, who has special abilities based on being a running quarterback. Then if you take a look at a team like the Rams we touched on earlier, with all the under center single back, and trust me, I get a lot of questions about the Rams not using I formation, two backs. Trust me, we're fully aware of it. Last year, the year before, in 2017, they actually did use some of those formations. So that's why it was in that playbook. This year, though, none of that. So it's all out. It's all single back. Yes.
Yeah. A-Dub is listening, and I think that's a great thing that, as you guys are listening, of course, there has to be a way to, update playbooks.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about that and how it's going to happen Madden 20?
That's a nice segue into what we want to talk about here. We recognize that a lot of teams, they evolve from what they do from year to year. So traditionally we based the playbooks off what they've done the previous year, but now this year we're looking to really up the cadence, if you will, on the number of playbook updates we do post-launch. Last year, there was our first year sort of being able to get this technology up and going, and it was kind of late, and so we didn't get to do as many things as we would have liked to do. But this year, we got a solid plan in place, we believe. And we're looking forward to throughout the year being able to add unique things, and playbooks evolve based on what they're doing in real life. So that's one of our really, really big focus goals. To sort of transition a little part of the Madden development process into that live services, or the live services model. That's a big initiative.
Yeah, that's great. I think at the end of the day, one of the big things we want to do is make sure to kind of stay up to date, fluent with kind of what's going out there, and make sure that it's reflective in the game, because one of the big things this year, just like with Superstar X Factor, is bringing a level of authenticity into the game. And again, these things are really based on things that these players can do, is also bringing that level of authenticity throughout the season as we kind of create these moments for our players like you. So Anthony, great stuff. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or highlight before we bring on man of the people Z Farles and RG, who is he's just a delight to watch kind of on these competitive streams. So
I mean, just want to let the people know, hey, when it comes to like authenticity in terms of playbook schemes, things of this nature, trust me, we're looking at it, we're paying attention to it. These guys will tell you, if it was up to me, we'd have 2 million plays in the game, but obviously we can't do that. But yeah, we're definitely taking feedback, and we're looking at all. We may not respond to everything, but we see it, and we try to, get something that's out there that's representative of the NFL first and foremost, and something that hopefully you all will enjoy when you pick up Madden August 2nd.
It's great stuff. Well, again, A-Dub, thank you so much for coming out. You are a natural. You are a pro. I think we're going to do a deep dive with this guy, like on a podcast, so that maybe we do like a 4-hour. I'm just kidding. Maybe we do like a 2-hour podcast. Anthony has a lot of knowledge when it comes down to playbooks and everything like that. I know a lot of people really love digging into that, so we'll make sure to make that happen. But right now, we're going to go ahead and bring on Z Farles and RG Madden to talk about legacy fixes to Madden 20 from what you guys have seen out there. They're going to talk a little bit about some of the improvements coming to Madden 20, so stay tuned.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got a special treat for you tonight. We got RG joining us. Farles here. Don't even call me man of the people when RG's in the building because he is the true man of the people. Gameplay designer here at EA by day, broadcaster by night. He's got some special stuff he wants to break down with us and really kind of go into some of the details of what's happening in Madden 20 for the hardcore player out there. So, welcome.
No, thanks, Farles, and don't sell yourself short, dude. You're the legend yourself over here, man. You can't.
All good. I appreciate that. You're the man. You're the man. Let's relax it up, man. We got Madden 20. We just had A-Dub crush it. It's like going on after like a legendary
How
performance.
unbelievable is A-Dub? And like real quick before we even get into it, I just got to say he's just like so phenomenal. I'm surprised like an NFL team hasn't just stolen from us yet. And the work he did with Rpos, and shout out to Sid who worked on that. It was probably fixing bugs back there. I mean, those guys are just really special people and just awesome to work with. So
yeah, we always, like when we do these streams, the goal is to introduce you to this talent that we have here at the studio. And one of the big things when you come to like a game changer event is there's always a session where A-Dub draws on a whiteboard for over 3 hours, and you learn just so much. And so like that is a little bit of what we wanted to give to you, and I think you got to start to see that, and we'll continue to go more in depth with that. But that's kind of the experience we're going for on these streams. So
for sure,
shout out to everyone for coming out and supporting. The real nitty-gritty detail. There was a good chunk of meat in part 1. Obviously, the part 2 blog will be coming out right now. We just previewed some of those 200 plays. We gave you some samples. But for the hardcore player out there, what are some of the things that were the meta this year or that you're really working on and focusing with your team?
Yeah, no, there's a ton of stuff I'm excited to share. We'll get through it. A lot of the stuff is we play the game as much as our users do. We play a lot. A lot of people in the office play. So each year we're able to identify, some of those pain points or some of the areas where we obviously know we can improve there and make things more fun, more realistic. So yeah, I mean, if you want, we could just go right in.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. You guys just let me kind of go off like,
Give me those sheets. Let me see those. Yeah.
Glenn and A-Dub got like a whole structure of things. You guys are like, hey, just list the stuff that you kind of like. So the first thing for me is kind of locomotion improvements, and what that really is just like movement in general. If last year was the real player motion year, this year is definitely like real player motion 2.0. And what I mean by that is when you're playing a game, like what's the most important thing? It's moving your guy with the left stick. Like any video game, whether it's Madden, anything, control responsiveness is super important. And this year more than ever, I feel like my ball carrier, we just did a really good job of making them feel that responsive. Like when you see a hole open up, you're actually able to hit that hole, and it feels amazing. So just starting with the basics, just pure movement, by far one of my favorite things. That's on the offense and defensive side of the ball. The QA guys love how pursuit feels, how lurking around feels, responsiveness wise, and yeah, just the ball carrier. You're just really able to make big plays with them.
Probably the first thing when you pick up the game, it's the most noticeable piece is like the left stick running feels better. I've asked a lot of people in the studio, I'm like, hey, how come? And they just said it's kind of 2.0. It's kind of the evolution of it, and it so enjoyable to have that left stick, just to see where you want to go and be able to get there and really feel good. It's definitely the first thing I noticed when I played. So
for sure. So we had to call that out. A couple other things that are like in that area that I also really like are ball carrier moves. For example, like I don't know about you guys, but stiff arm for a long time just didn't feel like a great move for me. That was one of those things when we play the game, we realized like, wow, there really is room for improvement here. So stiff arm especially feels a lot better for the ball carrier, especially like in this situation. You know how, like, you know, before if you were head on, I could kind of stiff arm you, but when a guy was to your side, it was kind of hard. But that's like one of the best times you want to stiff arm.
Yeah, those back
long
long
like if
run,
I need
like,
to get you
run
out of
away.
here. So now, like if a guy's coming from your side or he's behind you, you can actually match a really nice animation, keep him at bay. Really cool stuff.
So the only thing, when you're turning, you're getting nice and animated, your microphone's staying here, so we're losing you a little bit of audio. That's
sorry,
it's the passion.
You've been
It's
at the caster desk with me, dude. You know how we
this when he
get.
leans in. He leans right in. They have better technology than we do here in the hallway, but you know, it's all good. We do our best.
I'll try to stay still. Also with the ball carrier, fake outs seem better tuned, especially for the user. We know people gave us the feedback. It's okay when you fake out my AI defender, but when you fake out my user defender, I get pulled into some sort of animation. Not a great feeling. So the users rarely ever get faked out. And another thing with spin and jukes, which to me are your fake out mechanics, one thing we did is we kept those as fake out mechanics, so you won't get as many of those broken tackles. That kind of felt fluky with those. Like if I spun into you and spun into the tackle and then all of a sudden broke it, it's like, wait a minute, you weren't trying to break that tackle, you were trying to spin to get away from me. So we tuned that's to me like really phenomenal. It really helped balance juke and spin and also give the defensive user you know, just the viable options he needs to counter it.
We got a little settings menu. We went in. I think we may have a look at that. That might be something that could lead us into more conversations about some of the things that have been changed around or different or not different. So let us know that.
So the main thing here that you want to look at, and to anyone that really played, I'm sure you'll be happy about this. We removed the auto strafe functionality. We just, it's off now by default. We got a lot of feedback from a lot of different cohorts that just said this mechanic is pretty much useless. It's a pain point, and we just didn't even want to give anybody the option to hurt themselves with auto strafe anymore, so we removed it. The other big thing that we did within the settings was we default ball hawk to on now, no matter what. Last year, if you went to all Madden, you could go into situations where ball hawk would default to off, and if we're being honest, the way that this game is built and designed and the way that to get your best experience is when ball hawk's on. It's going to give you the best chance of defense, so we didn't want to turn that off for people without them really knowing. Now, if you want to turn that off, you have that option, but you're blatantly going to have to be the one to do that. I recommend if you play the game that you play with ball hawk on. But yeah, it's a small change, but I think it will help a lot of people because I know I would catch myself having to go in the settings menu and say, is my ball hawk off? Like, what's going on when something didn't go my way? So we kind of eliminated that.
That is awesome. That is awesome. We got a little bit more on the list here. We talked a little bit about the shed defense, or we haven't quite hit on that yet, but conservative tackle tuning, things like that. What What else you got for the fans out there?
There's a ton of them. Like I said, I don't have like a huge robust feature set like these guys. Just some of my favorite improvements. Strip all, that's another one. One of my least favorite things about last year that we got a lot of feedback on was how easy it was to just spam strip all. If I was behind you, I could just keep hitting RB until I matched one of those animations. And a lot of people didn't like that. It didn't feel very skillful for a mechanic that was so impactful. So we found the bugs there. So now strip all is very responsive. If you mistime it and you're not in the window, you're going to play one of those whiff animations. So it just adds additional risk to that mechanic, which we felt was much needed. And everyone who's played with it, we really like that change so far. Another big one. So you all know, like, when you used to get an interception and then you stumble after the interception. Like, you have the pick six, but for whatever reason, you trip over your own feet, and it's really frustrating. Like, we've all been there.
Especially because I don't get that many interceptions. So like, when I do get them, I can't score in the red zone either, so I need to capitalize.
We definitely just more work with our stumble logic, and it's just so much more improved about seeing your ball carrier kind of trip when they shouldn't be. It takes a lot more force to get them into that state now, so intercepting just naturally feels so much smoother with that change. You'll see it in other places, but interceptions is the main place that we're really feeling.
One other thing, how about anything with aggressive, conservative, tuning, adjustments, anything in that area of the game that you guys touched on or would add anything to?
Say it again?
Anything about like aggressive
coaching adjustments?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the coaching adjustments, we have some stuff we're working on. One thing that we've definitely done is we removed the pass rush coaching adjustment. It's, I believe, accounted for now, and enough abilities, and there's enough good ways to get pass rush. Without that, it caused us a lot of problems throughout the year, tuning-wise balance. When we talked to a lot of our game changers and people who played, they just felt the game would be more balanced without it. We could spend our dev resources elsewhere. So that one is gone. And then we have a few other tricks up our sleeves for that menu, but nothing that I think I can share right now.
Well, we'll have this platform going forward. Obviously, the goal here on this show is to tell you more about the game, Madden 20. And, of course, at EA Play, we will show you even more. We do have a little something to show you down here. I can't read it, but I think you know exactly what it is. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about these wide receiver hot routes here in Madden 20.
That is super dope. So what you're seeing right now is we did a lot of work to some of our legacy abilities. And one of those abilities in MUT, for those that aren't familiar with them, some of them were route chems. And what those route chems did last year was they pretty much just changed some of your hot routes by default. So how you had the 8 default hot routes that you see on the left, we would just change some of those. This year, now with the route chems, instead of taking away routes from you, we give you an additional 4. So what you're seeing right here is this would be a wide receiver who has a slot receiver route chem. So what that means is when he aligns in the slot receiver position, he's going to get those 4 additional hot routes that you see on the right that are on the D-pad, which is the crossing route, the post route, the corner, and the stop and go. And the cool thing about that is that's just the hot routes if you had a slot receiver. You could have an ability that says, hey, if you're an outside specialist receiver, then when you're on the outside, you get 4 additional routes. You can combo them where sometimes it's a guy that, no matter where he aligns at the receiver position, he gets 4 additional ones. You'll have certain receiving backs that get additional hot routes when they're in the backfield, tight ends that get it when they're in the tight end position, and then the ultimate route chem that I'm most excited about is for our pocket passer, field general type of guys. They'll be able to get an ability which no matter who they're hot routing, they'll have the 4 additional hot route options. So this just gives you a great way to get creative, way more strategy at the line of scrimmage. A-Dub already does a lot of work with playbooks, but this was the type of thing that we felt would really help separate how efficient certain players are when it comes to strategy and just strictly scheming with them, not just what they do on the field. So that's one of my favorite abilities by far.
That's sweet. That's sweet. That's
super
sweet.
Dope, right?
You look at your list and consider anything else you want to add. I got Twitter guy over here. He's in the chat right now. They're breaking down some questions. Anything that came up. I know tomorrow on Gridiron Notes we'll actually break down your exact questions that you have. One of those things will be the blocking on RPOs, kind of how that works. I know A-Dub talked to it a little bit, but that's been the main question, is blocking in relation to RPOs. We'll cover that on the Gridiron Notes blog tomorrow. That's a blog where we go in, break down your topics. Anything we missed, we'll cover it there. We'll put highlights to the stream and kind of do all that. Right now as well, there's a blog that's gone live or is about to go live. Gameplay Part 2 should be coming pretty soon here, and you'll want to check that out. It's live. It's out there. People go in and get it. Agent K, what do you got for me? The scoreboard. Is it live? People want to know about the scoreboard. They want to know if it got an update and overhaul. So tune in at EA Play to find out about that scoreboard. Little tease. Maybe we'll tell you the night before to remind you to tune in. But don't worry out there. That is probably the #1 question I see on Twitter is, did the scoreboard get an update? People love it, and we'll have to see. That's called a tease in the biz. We'll have to see what we can do. Anything else you want to add that you feel like we didn't get to?
I don't want to take too much of your time. I'll try to
we
get
have
to
all
it
the time in the world.
Quickly. Another thing is shed defenses. We hear a lot from people. It's those nickel 3-3-5 formations, those big nickel formations where you can have defenders, pass rushers that weren't really that great, and they can get those kind of pre-canned animations that really get downfield at the quarterback. They would disengage at the end of them, and they would just cause all kind of havoc, probably more havoc than they should be causing for the quality of pass rusher that players were putting out there. We've done a lot of work to just improve those interactions. When the guys get a loss animation, instead of disengaging and getting at the quarterback, they'll stay engaged with the blocker. You won't have as good of a chance to even trigger those animations if you're not an elite style type of pass rusher. So just some really good things put in place to help us control those styles of defenses and really balance that area. Another big thing in that space, Falls, is we noticed last year a lot of people with the Lamar Jacksons and the Mike Vicks running backwards super far, chucking passes that a piece of my soul would just go away every time I saw one of those videos. So this year there's just been some really good changes that when you run back a certain amount of yards, your pass icons will disappear, making it much harder for you to throw, and there's an additional inaccuracy penalty once you start running backwards to make throws like that. It really helps solve that area of the game, which I feel like got pretty unbalanced.
Yeah,
toward
and
the
I
end
think
of Madden 19.
there was some changes to QB contains as well, which we can add to the gridiron notes unless you want to add anything on that. But that is another big thing. So the three biggest things when I play: #1, left stick movement, huge. #2, elite pass rushers, really dominating games, and I think that plays to the stars feel like stars. And then #3.
The lurking's big. The one Clint talking about,
yes,
where the linebackers not being able to just, jump up and make these super plays anymore. And, with pass trajectory, you actually have to get your defender in a realistic position to make some of those plays on the ball. I mean, nobody respects stick work more than me. I want people to be able to show their stick work off and make plays. It just got to a point where it was just blatantly too easy. So now you're going to have to work for those interceptions, and I think that's a good thing. It's really going to open up the game for a lot of people and make people work the way we want them to.
Yeah, you got to get into good habits, Matt. I was dropping too far back passes. I would throw an inaccurate pass. I get mad at the game, and then they'd go, you were 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You're not going to have an accurate pass from there. Why would you roll back that way? And it's just your left thumb takes over, and you got to make sure you're having good habits in the game. So thank you very much for coming out here, man.
Thanks
you got anything else we want to add in?
No, thank you for all you guys do. Thank you to the community for tuning in, for supporting us. Really excited about Madden 20. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it, share your feedback with us. But I think it's going to be a really good year. This is some of the biggest strides I've ever seen Madden take, and Madden's been a part of my life for going on longer than I want to share now. Yeah. So I'm really excited about it.
All right, that is it for the gameplay stream. We do have a couple housekeeping notes we'll have to get to. You'll have to sit and bear it through these, but we'll try and make it fun. So I know giveaway Gabby's got Nightbot up in the back because we want to give away some kahunas that we gave away earlier today. We're also going to extend the opportunity on Twitter. So if you go right now and send a positive message to RG_Madden, positive messages only, tell them something you learned, tell them something you're excited about. We'll extend that as well to A-Dub. His Twitter's AWhite73. You can find it out there. And then, of course, Clint Oldenburg. We'll give away one kahuna to folks that go send positive messages to those folks. These guys share their time. It's late here. A lot of folks still working, but they're hanging out. They don't have to do this. They do it because they want to give you that information. So we want to reward them with some positivity as we go out here. We're going to roll a kahuna here from Giveaway Gabby for the Twitch chat. We'll do 3 of those real quick. And the Madden Minute here, just to recap, we talked a little bit earlier about the 3 new types of RPOs in Madden 20, the peaks, the reads, the alerts. We also talked about one new trick play here in the Philly special, and then we also showed you those new Rams jet sweep handoffs. You have the two different types. You have the shotgun types and the under center types.
As a Patriots fan who sits next to A-Dub, do you know how gross it is to turn around one day and see him like building Philly special like right on the screen behind you? It's just like, oh, it needs
rough.
to happen. Hold that LRG.
We also showed you some of those, pitches and tosses and the ability to kind of build
Just put it on the
plays.
screen.
Over 200 new RPOs. So over 200 new RPOs coming to Madden this year. I know we just showed you a little sample right there, but don't be fooled. There's a lot. And of course, there'll be live service offensive playbook updates and defensive playbook updates after the year rolls out, more than before, as they started in Madden 19, Madden 20, really looking to take that to the next level. So that is the recap of the stream. Go read that blog. We got the giveaways coming in here shortly. I know you've all gone over to Twitter and started to get those positive messages out to Clint, to RG, to A-Dub. Put Gabby on the spot. But you know what? That's how we roll. We rolling it? All right, first winner in the Twitch chat tonight for a kahuna. Rafer Alston. Yes.
Rafer Alston.
Yes, Rafer Alston.
Very creative.
Yes. We've
Very
got
creative.
A great ball player. Great player. He's a winner. I would like to remind you tomorrow, it's Fan Appreciation in Madden Ultimate Team. So that's a new promo coming to Madden Ultimate Team tomorrow. We've got Fan Appreciation. Tune into Madden Daily Drops tomorrow at 10:30, and we'll actually give you all the details on that one. That was our first winner. We're going to go ahead and roll 2 more winners here for a chance. No small giveaways, only kahunas only. That'll be 6 kahunas.
The kahunas, they're getting like vintage content here,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
We're blessing them.
Barry
Like, we got
Sanders, at least 13
the good stuff.
items of
All right.
99 rated.
Mute is cool.
Mute
That's
is
my
cool.
guy, dude.
Arturo
Mute.
Solano?
Huh? What? The government name.
Mute
off
is cool.
rip.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Mute is
phenomenal.
cool. Chargers Club Series? Or
Niners, I believe.
Niners
it was.
Club Championship?
Mute's my guy, man. I'm happy for you,
I
Mute.
like Mute. Good dude. Good dude.
That was a funny coincidence.
We got one more flying in. Mr. Andriola.
I'm happy for you. I don't know him like Mute is cool, but I'm happy
Jim
for you.
Stevens? Not Jim Stevens. The chat dislikes when I know the winners. They don't love it because they feel like
might
it's...
think the fix is in.
Yeah,
Point
yeah.
shaving. Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Gibbs
with that
is the
stuff.
fixed guy. I'm the natural guy.
You got all integrity.
That's how we do it.
All
Yeah.
integrity with Farls.
Roll one more, Gabby.
Yeah,
Roll one more.
Bless him. Go, Gab.
Remember, fan appreciation tomorrow inside Madden Ultimate Team. Shucka's 28.
You go, Shuckers.
Shucka's 28.
There
Winner.
you go,
Winner. All right, so if you did not win in the Twitch chat tonight, we obviously have those 3 opportunities on Twitter, to RG, to A-Dub, to Clint. That is all here for the gameplay stream. We appreciate you coming out. We got to hit you with the survey, though, in the chat. Survey links coming out. This is very important. Remember, if we get 1,000 responses on a single survey this season, S. Gibbs will shave his head. That is what we need so that we can keep our jobs here. We need a lot of survey responses, plus we need S. Gibbs to shave his head at 1,000 responses. We only got to like 500 last time, so...
Gibbs is like known for his lettuce, too. I can't believe he's putting up the lettuce.
He needs this. He needs it. Boss to say, hey, what's the
Crazy.
survey say? He needs to get out there, so he's willing to put it all on the line. He's got some skin in the game here. Got some hair in the game, as they say. All right. Twitter guy, anything else that they're saying out there? Twitter's taking over. All right. We're out of here. See you next time. Shout out to RG. Thank you for coming out, sharing those deets. We'll talk soon. S. Gibbs, put that graphic up. Get us out of here.